If you're going through a divorce in Illinois and there's a home involved, the mistake I see most often is the same one almost every time. People wait too long to bring in someone who knows how to handle the sale because they're hoping the situation will resolve itself, or they're afraid that bringing in an agent makes things more real or more contentious. But the longer the home sits in the middle of the divorce without a clear plan, the more it costs both people emotionally, financially, and in time. The right help brought in early and quietly almost always makes the situation calmer, not harder. I'm Sean Gimpert with O'Neill Property Group. I've worked with sellers navigating divorce and I know how to handle it with discretion and care. If you're in this situation, the link in the description is for a private strategy call. No pressure, no commitment, no sales pitch. Just a confidential conversation about what your options actually look like and what the process would involve if and when you're ready. The link is right below this video. And before we go any further, one important note, I'm a real estate agent, not an attorney. Anything I share in this video is for the real estate process perspective. The legal side, including what's required in your specific divorce, belongs with a qualified Illinois divorce attorney. The goal of this video is to help you understand the real estate part of the process so you can make calmer decisions with your attorney's guidance. When both spouses are on the title to the home, both spouses generally have to be involved in any sale of that home. That sounds obvious, but it matters more than people realize, because it means that even when the relationship is strained, the sale itself requires coordination. In practice, that coordination usually looks like one of three things. Both spouses agree to sell and work together on the process, in which case the sale moves forward like any other listing, with both signing documents and both participating in decisions. Both spouses agree to sell, but communicate primarily through their attorneys and the agent, in which case the agent plays a much more active coordinating role, often relaying information between parties so direct conflict is minimized. Where the spouses don't agree and the situation has to be resolved through the divorce proceeding before the sale can proceed. In all three scenarios, having an agent who's been through this before makes the process meaningfully smoother. The agent's job isn't just to sell the home, it's to keep the sale moving without making the divorce harder. Now, the most stressful version of this is when the parties aren't cooperating. Here's how that usually plays out. When one spouse wants to sell and the other doesn't, or when both want to sell but can't agree on price, timing, or process, the situation moves to the court. In Illinois, the divorce court has authority over the marital property, which includes the home in most cases. The court can order the home to be sold, set parameters around the listing, and appoint a process for resolving disagreements during the sale. This is not where most divorcing couples want to end up, because court-ordered sales remove much of the flexibility both parties might otherwise have. The price, timing, and process are influenced by the court's decisions rather than by what's actually best for either party financially. The way to avoid this is to bring in the right professionals early, on both the legal and real estate sides, and try to reach agreement on the sale outside of court if at all possible. An experienced agent and a good Illinois divorce attorney working together can often help both parties see what cooperation looks like and what the cost of fighting actually is. That conversation is much easier when it happens before positions harden. The other major question I get from divorcing sellers is about the money. The equity in the home, meaning what's left after the mortgage is paid off and selling costs are covered, is treated as marital property in most Illinois divorces. How it gets divided is decided by the divorce, not by the home sale. The home sale produces the money. The divorce settlement decides where it goes. What that means practically is that the sale itself proceeds like a normal real estate transaction. The home is listed, marketed, shown, and sold. At closing, the proceeds go to wherever the divorce agreement or court order specifies. That might be split between the parties, used to pay off shared obligations, or held in escrow until the divorce finalizes, depending on the specific situation. The reason this matters for the real estate process is that both parties have a real financial interest in the home selling well. Even when the relationship is broken, both people benefit from a clean sale at a strong price. A skilled agent can often help both parties see that shared financial interest as a foundation for cooperation, even when little else feels cooperative. Here's the part most people miss when they delay getting real estate help during a divorce. The earlier an experienced agent is brought in, even before any decision to list is final, the more protection both parties have. The agent can quietly assess the home's likely value, identify any preparation issues that should be handled before listing, and help both attorneys understand realistic timelines and proceeds. None of that requires committing to anything. None of that becomes part of the divorce record. It's information gathered privately that helps both sides make better decisions. The cost of waiting is almost always higher than the cost of an early conversation. Delays compound, stress compounds, and the home, sitting in the middle of an unresolved situation, often loses value while everything else stays unresolved. If you're navigating this situation, the link in the description is for a private strategy call. The conversation is confidential, no pressure, no commitment. I'll listen, share what the process actually looks like, and answer any questions you have about your options. You and your attorney can decide what to do from there. The link is right below this video. The timeline for a divorce home sale in Illinois varies a lot depending on whether the parties are cooperating, where the divorce stands, and what the home requires before listing. In the smoothest scenarios, the sale process itself is similar to any other home sale, around 2 to 4 months from decision to closing. When the divorce is still being negotiated or the parties aren't aligned, the timeline can extend significantly, sometimes by many months. The single biggest factor in the timeline is how early the right professionals get involved. I'm Sean Gimpert with O'Neill Property Group. The link for a private strategy call is in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.